mother told me never to do this.
Gonna be wild and night. Flash to flash and bite to bite. It's gonna be wild and night. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's gonna be wild and night. Flash to flash and bite to bite. Flash to flash and bite to bite. Flash to flash and bite to bite.
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured? If you got any idea how much blood jets out of a guy's neck when his throat's been slit?
What do you want?
I want you to stop me.
I'm Ben from 80's Horror Central, and if you've been sleeping on this one, it's time to wake up and smell the diesel. The Hitcher is pure, uncut highway horror, a sun-bleached fever dream of paranoia, dread, and Rutger Hauer being an absolute fucking menace. It's a dark, rainy night as young Jim Halsey drives along an endless stretch of desert highway. Up ahead looms a figure on the road, a Hitcher. Jim stops for the stranger. The man with the transparent eyes and menacing smile is soon holding a knife to Jim's throat. The Hitcher tells Jim to pass a car on the side of the road. The passengers are already dead. The Hitcher has killed them. Jim is finally able to shove the Hitcher out of the car door and is relieved that the terrifying situation is over. Some hours later, a car passes with 3 little kids in the back seat. The Hitcher is smiling through the rear window. The journey into real terror has just begun for Jim Halsey, an unending nightmare filled with one horror scene after another as the deranged Hitcher continues on the slaughterous rampage. Let's start with the MVP. Rutger Hauer as John Ryder is one of the most chilling villains of the decade. No mask, no claws, no supernatural gimmicks. Well, maybe. Just a quiet, smiling psychopath with dead eyes and a switchblade. He's not just scary, he's existentially terrifying. You don't know what he wants, why he's doing it, or how far he'll go, and that's what makes him unforgettable. The movie is drenched in dread. Desert highways, empty diners, dusty motels. The cinematography is stark and sun-bleached, and the pacing, relentless, and never lets you breathe.
I'm putting my trust in you, Captain. Take us in.
C. Thomas Howell plays Jim Halsey, a kid who just wants to deliver a car and ends up in a psychological death match with a hitchhiking demon. He's vulnerable, panicked, and slowly unraveling, and you feel every second of it. His descent into desperation is what gives this movie its emotional punch, and the performance all around is solid. Jennifer Jason Leigh is also solid as Nash, Jim's only real ally throughout the film and a semi-love interest.
Why'd you pick him up?
I wanted to help him. And I was tired. I thought he'd help me stay awake.
Can I sit by you?
The Hitcher has action, suspense, and that one scene. You know the one. If you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, I won't spoil it. But let's just say, The Hitcher doesn't pull punches. It's got shootouts, car chases, and moments of pure gut-wrenching horror that'll stick with you long after the credits roll. One of the more fascinating aspects of the film is the provocative subtext of homoerotic tension. From the moment Jim picks up Ryder on the desolate highway, their dynamic is charged with an unsettling intimacy. Ryder's initial threat, holding a switchblade to Jim's crotch and demanding he beg for his life, is a moment of sexualized violence that flips the traditional slasher tropes on its head. This scene sets the tone for a relationship that mirrors the structure of a twisted courtship. Ryder's relentless pursuit of Jim is not merely about murder, it's about possession, transformation, and a kind of perverse mentorship. Ryder sees something in Jim, innocence, strength, and perhaps a reflection of himself. His obsession is not just to kill Jim, but to break him, mold him, and ultimately be killed by him. You could say Jim is a final girl archetype. Jim's journey echoes the classic final girl trope of slasher cinema, except he's male. He's young, vulnerable, and emotionally raw. He survives not through brute force, but through resilience and wit. This inversion adds another layer to the homoerotic tension. Ryder becomes a predator not just of bodies, but of identities. He wants Jim to become him, to understand him, and ultimately destroy him. The diner scene where Jim confronts Ryder with a gun only to find it's empty is emblematic. Jim's emotional breakdown, his tearful, "Why are you doing this to me?" is not just fear, but heartbreak. Ryder's response is cryptic, intimate, and loaded with symbolic weight, placing 2 pennies on Jim's eyes as if preparing him for death, and handing him bullets, a gesture of trust, surrender, and twisted affection. Ryder is more than a killer. He's a metaphor for death itself. His supernatural ability to appear and disappear, his lack of identity, and his desire to be killed all point to a symbolic role. But death here is seductive, personal, and erotic. Even in the final scene after Jim kills Ryder, there is no triumph. Jim gently caresses Ryder's lifeless head, a gesture of mourning and intimacy. It's as if he's saying goodbye to a part of himself, to the darkness that Ryder forced him to confront. The homoerotic undertones between Ryder and Jim complicate the narrative, turning it into a meditation on masculinity, vulnerability, and the seductive nature of death. Ryder's obsession is not just with Jim's body, but with his soul, and Jim's survival is not just physical, it's existential. This queer reading doesn't diminish the film's horror, it deepens it. It reveals The Hitcher as a story about transformation through trauma, about the intimacy of violence, and about the terrifying allure of someone who sees you more clearly than you see yourself. The Hitcher is a sun-scorched masterpiece of highway horror. It's got atmosphere, tension, and one of the most iconic villains of the decade. If you're into slow-burn dread with bursts of brutal intensity, this one's a must-watch.
You'll never hold him.
All right, you listen up now, and you listen good, son. There's something strange going on between the two of you. I don't know what it is, I don't want to know, but I'm telling you, he is in our hands now. And whatever happens to him, it won't be decided by you. Doesn't have anything to do with you anymore.